Hi everyone and welcome to Rose Red Homestead. This is week 6 of our weigh-in, and so I'm just going to get that out of the way right now, and then we can get on with weighing in on something else. So here is my record for this past week. You may remember that I was up 2 pounds after our trip to the Northwest last week, and I have lost 1 of those 2 pounds this week. I think I'm still retaining some water for sitting in the truck for 6 days driving across country. So hopefully I'll get back down here pretty quick. But notice that I'm right even with my first goal, which is 5 pounds. So after 6 weeks, I've lost 5 pounds and I'm just thrilled. I have a ways to go and I know it, and we're taking one day at a time, and we celebrate every possible success that we can celebrate. So I am trying to balance between our 2 skylights with the sun streaming in this afternoon. So if you see me kind of moving this way, you'll know that I'm following the path of the sun. I want to weigh in today on eating until we're full. There's a lot of information that is written about this aspect of feeling full and paying attention to our bodies to know when our bodies are telling us that we are full. A lot of us, and it includes me, have kind of lost touch with my body, and sometimes I don't know if I'm full or not. But if I'm more mindful about it, I really do get messages to my brain that says, okay, you've reached the maximum that you need to reach. Now, it's very interesting because, you know, if this was a situation where we only took in the fuel, the food that we needed for whatever energy we are going to expend in a given day, to where there's a zero sum, zero accumulation, then none of us would worry about being on any kind of a food plan. We wouldn't have to, because it comes in and it goes out. But what happens is it's not even. Most of us consume more than is required for the energy we expend in a day. And that's where weight accumulation begins. And the darn thing that happens is our brain gets involved. If it was just a rote kind of a system, we wouldn't have to worry about it, but our brain gets involved, and our brain is subject to all kinds of influences. So I have been reading about the messages, the neurotransmission of messages from our body to our brain to help us know when we are full. Now, when we're full, this is all about satiety or satiation, and that is the word that means when we have that full feeling. Now, I know that we've all felt that. Many of us feel that on Thanksgiving Day when we went way over the top. And not only are we feeling full, we're feeling really full and even sleepy. And there's a reason for that. In any case, with the readings that I've been doing over the past 2 or 3 weeks, I've learned 5 things that are important, and I'm going to share them with you. So the first is the reason that we begin to feel satiated is because of gastric stretching. Our stomachs stretch out when we are eating. And that's the first signal that we get is, oh, I'm feeling full. The actual stretching of the stomach occurs after consuming a meal, and it sends a message to our brain that says, you're full. If we are receptive to that message, then we can push ourselves away from the table and feel just fine. But many of us miss that signal. So here's a couple of things that it says under gastric stretching. When small amounts of food are consumed, the stretching of the stomach is minimal. However, as the volume of food increases, the stretch receptors are stimulated. By drinking water with your meal, you can fill your stomach and trigger that stretching that then triggers the message to the brain that says you are full and you don't have to eat any extra food. So there's that way of sort of tricking our body into giving us the signal that we are feeling full. I hate feeling hungry. And yes, I fast periodically, and so I know what it feels like to feel hunger. But it's not a pleasant feeling to me. in terms of the physical aspect of it. And so I don't think we should try to starve ourselves. We need instead to work with our body and help our body, give our body clues that then our body can give our brain, that then says, oh, you're full, that's enough. Over time, consistently eating smaller meals will help the stomach shrink and less food will be needed to feel full. So if we consistently eat a little bit less food, take a big drink of water, then pretty soon our stomach is going to shrink down just a little bit and we will feel full sooner without having to consume extra food. The second point is high volume food. And this is what it says. Recent studies show that eating high volume foods can help individuals feel full longer than when they eat low volume food. Low volume food is like fast food, high sugar, high carbs, highly processed foods, other poor nutritional choices. But if we are eating high volume food, which are fruits and vegetables, these types of food, because they contain a lot of water, also help stretch our stomach out so that then our brain is signaled that we are full. Point 3 is protein and fat. And I know that a lot of you already know this one. These are nutrients that are found mostly in animal foods and can contain fat that slows down gastric emptying. So that food stays in our stomach longer, and we have that feeling of being sated or satiated longer than if we eat something that goes through us really fast. Protein and fat both help someone feel full after a meal. Fat found in nuts, seeds, dairy products, and animal products such as meat and poultry are all foods that may slow down digestion. In general, foods high in fat remain in the stomach longer than foods with low amounts of fat. That is because fat is digested more slowly. So if we are focusing right in on healthy fats, which is our topic for next week, we're going to talk about what are healthy fats and what are the foods that are that contain those healthy fats. Then we're going to get that message of feeling full, of being satiated. Then point number 4 is the amount of food. Now this one was a little bit surprising to me. The amount of food eaten can speed up or slow down the digestive process. Well, that's a big fat duh. Really? Except it doesn't work the way I thought it did. Listen to this follow-up. The larger the meal, the quicker the stomach empties. What? The larger the meal, the quicker the stomach empties. Smaller meals linger in the stomach longer and keep one satiated. I had no clue. So I've been practicing this one a little bit, and so far it seems to be right on the money. So point number 5 is meal composition. Specific nutrients contain glucose from carbohydrates, amino acids from proteins, and fatty acids from fats. So that is fat, carbs, protein. We're talking about the macronutrients right here. And that loops us right back around to where we talked about the macronutrients and the micronutrients early on in this process. These all act as satiety signals and tell the brain to tell the body it's full. Tell the brain to tell the body that it's full. Don't you love that? The brain is very sensitive to the amounts of glucose or blood sugar the body receives from food. Typically after a meal, blood glucose increases and the brain responds by releasing neuropeptides, small groups of peptides that act as neurotransmitters. So that's where the message from the body to the brain to the body comes from. These tell the body it is full and to stop eating. Amino acids from protein-rich foods also play a short-term role in letting the body know that it's full. The brain uses the amino acid tryptophan to make the neurotransmitter serotonin. Have you heard about serotonin? I'm sure you have. Tell the body sensations of being satisfied and relaxed. After Thanksgiving dinner, that serotonin just walks us right over to the couch where we lie down and take a great big snooze because we are so full. This may be why high intakes of food containing tryptophan, such as turkey and dairy products, promote both satiety and sleepiness. So those are 5 points about feeling full, ways that we can kind of trick those neurotransmitters into giving the brain the message that the body is full, and the size of the meals and the types of foods that we consume. So for the next 3 weeks, we're going to have, I've been studying up on this and reading quite a bit about healthy fats, about complex carbs, and about lean protein. And these are the types of food that we need to focus on in our programs, whatever our programs are, to help us get that feeling of fullness that will push us away from the table and not consume as much food as we may once have done so, like me. So another week ahead of us. I wish all of us the best of success, and we will check in a week from today to let you know how things are going, and we'll be talking about healthy fats.